Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna do something a little different. I usually do stock out of the box, play games, show what it's like. But my last video I used the RG556, which has the Unisoc T820 in it and 8 gigs of memory. Today I thought what I would do is I would use my RG405m, and this one has Gamma OS on it. And I mentioned it in my last video that I'd like, see how another operating system does. Now I know this one has 4 less gigs of memory than the 556, but I'm not going to put Gamma OS on my cube to see that, because this is the one that I'm running Gamma OS on. So my 405V has Gamma OS on it. I've taken the card out of the 556 and I've put it in here. I'm going to do the exact same 10 games, and we'll see if the 4 gigs and operating system actually matter. So right now it's sitting as is. I've got Daijijo as my front end, and that's where this goes into. So instead of Android, this is basically my Android store here. My Play Store's there. My Android games are all there. But we are going to do PlayStation 2 on the Anbernic RG405m. And we're going to see if it can play better or the same or at least equal to the 556 with 8 gigs of memory on operating system straight out of the box. Let's dive right in. Okay, the one thing, when you start messing around with other operating systems, you have to start playing with the emulators a bit. When you load, like I'm using Daijijo on this one. Okay, but there's lots you can use. There's lots of emulators you can use. Daijijo is just one that I chose to use, and it's quite simple to use. Once you load Daijijo, you just you have to tell it what path to take. You pick your emulators. You download your emulators, and then you have to tell it where to go. So you add more. Right, what I've done is on the SD card that I have got from Anbernic, is you go to the SD card and you go down to where it says PS2, right there, and then you tell it to use that folder, and that's the folder it's going to use, and you sync it, and it's going to use that folder. It's not only going to sync it, then what it's going to do is it's going to scrape all the art too. That's one thing that Daijijo does really well. You will have to tell it where the BIOS is in the same way by picking the file. But the one thing that you have to do is you have to go find your Ether SX, right? Your Ether SX2, and you're going to have to learn how to work in here. It shows all the games, and again, you tell Daijijo or your front end where to find this, but you're going to be in here, and you're going to have to learn how to work in here. Now there's a lot of stuff, there's lots of great videos out there on how to set Daijijo up and how to set Ether SX up, so I'm not going to go into that, but you are going to have to learn how to use a lot of these settings and which one works. I'm not sure if I kept it in the video at this point, but I used I had to change the renderer from OpenGL to Vulkan just to get it to work. And then there's your scaler. This is your your graphics, what it's going to look like. The last few games I played on 1.7, but if you can turn it, if you're finding it skipping, like I said on the last tank battle over Europe, it was playing at 1.7. If as you get into a more on the screen, it starts to skip, you can always turn the render down to all the way to 0.5. So that's just what you're going to have to learn how to do, and then you're going to have to learn how to map your controls. And remember, when you're getting into not running stock, it starts to get complicated. Not too complicated. A lot of stuff is going to be there. The internet is your friend. Just type in what you need and it'll find it. Now remember, I'm not going over the ROMs. I'm not going over anything. I'm using the stock card from the Anbernic card that I played in the 556 on one of probably the first releases of Gamma OS for the 405M. It does seem to work. I think with PlayStation 2, you can see the games that I have in here. Okay, with PlayStation 2, you're going to have to be really picky. Like it played Battle Over Europe and Battle Over the Pacific fine. It played Crash Bandicoot fine, but the more complicated it gets, you're just going to have to pick and choose. Okay, so let's get into the games and see how they play. Wow.
taken hostages. Bring him down with one shot.
When you're using Gamma OS, like I just showed PS2 games, you do have all your Android-based games. They still all play, and they still all play fine. There's nothing wrong with playing Diablo Immortal, Call of Duty, or Mighty Doom on Gamma OS. So don't think just because you decide to go to Gamma OS and have to find a different front end, you still get all of your Android stuff is still there. It still works. It still plays good. You have no worry about losing the Android side of it. It's just the game side of it is working through Digijo now. And I've just got this set to run all in Digijo instead of dropping back and forth, opening it up. Okay? So Android stuff still works fine on Gamma OS. Okay, so I played the same 10 games that I played on the last video with not the last video, it depends when you're watching this and when you're watching it, with Anbernic 556. I just wanted to see how playing it on, yes, I know the 405M only has 4 gigabytes of memory where the 556 has 8, but I wondered if the operating system made a difference. So this is running one of the first releases of Gamma OS. I'm running Digijo as the front end, and I'm running EtherSX as the emulator. Okay, so the games that I played was God of War 2. I played with it a bit. I know how to do a little bit, but I'm nowhere near as good as some of these people. And what I could play with, I would say God of War 2 is a definite no. Tekken Tag Tournament is a definite no. That's even with the resolution, the graphics turned way down to I think it was 0.5. It looked terrible and it still didn't play and sounded gross. Crash Bandicoot, next to the fact that I think the ROM is Japanese, of course, because it's all in Japanese, it did played well, highly playable. Virtua Fighter was a surprise, played great. It played just like it did on the Virtua Fighter 4, played just like it did on the 556, so good to go there. Metal Slug, no worries there. I knew those were going to play. That's Metal Slug Complete, the ROM that you get on there is just all the Metal ROMs, and I played Metal Slug 10, and it played fine and looked good. And I think I even popped the resolution up to 1, and I could probably even go more. I wouldn't worry about that. So that's a definite yes. Battle Over the Pacific. The sound was a little weird, talking and stuff like that, but once I took off the carrier, it seemed to play fine. Playing to the missions with more on the screen, you might have to turn the resolution down, volume down. It depends on the sound and how you like the sound, but from what I played, maybe. Okay, I'm going to give that one a maybe. Silent Scope. I played Silent Scope 3, and I also played the other Silent Scope on here. I have 2 on here. Silent Scope and Silent Scope... Oh, I have 3. Silent Scope 2, and Silent Scope 3. I played 2 and 3, and I was able to turn the resolution up to, I think I 1.75 native, and it played really good. So the Silent Scope ones, if those played really good. Top Gun wouldn't even start. Top Gun, what is that? Top Gun Combat Zone wouldn't even start. So it's just a no. I didn't go any further than that, and I don't even think I'll show that in the video. Battle over Europe. The training was fine. You played around, you shot some missiles at the thing, at the targets, and it seemed to play fine. The sound was good. There was no jumpiness, and I think I had that turned up to 1.7. So if it got busy on the screen and slowed down, you might be able to slow it down and play. So I'm going to give that one a maybe. Tank Battle is going to be the same over Battle over Europe. On the screen with the 3 tanks, not a lot shooting at you. It worked fine, and again, that was turned up to 1.7 native resolutions. So I know talking all these resolutions and stuff like that isn't usually what I do on my videos, but when you're using a different operating system, you're going to have to learn how to do all this stuff, and the internet is your friend. Okay, so I'll come back and I'll tell you my final thoughts about playing PS2 on Gamma OS on Anbernic 405m. Okay, final thoughts on the Anbernic 405m running Gamma OS with the Digijo front end using Ether SX2. Okay. If you have this handheld and you want to put Gamma OS because you are going to get better performance on it, then you can play a few of these games. But if you are buying a handheld to play PS2, even with the OS, Gamma OS, I don't think this is the one for you. I think you need those extra 4 gigs of memory. I would go to the 556, the Cube, or the 406. You'll get better performance and better play, and you'll be able to play more titles. But if you have this one and you want to run Gamma OS, it's always fun to try new things, right? You're bored of the normal system. Remember, when you put on Gamma OS, you're losing the Android wild. Your apps are here. You can choose not to boot into that, into Gamma OS, but if you're using Gamma OS, use it for what it's designed for. The handheld did get a little warm. It is metal, sorry. The handheld did get a little warm playing some of the harder games, but for PS2, I wouldn't recommend the 405M. I would stay with the Cube, the 556, or the 406. Okay, I hope this was helpful. It was something different. Thanks for stopping by. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.